Hello, my name is Joshua Proto, and I'm honored today to be speaking at AWS Community Day Cameroon and representing one of the gold sponsors of today's event, Olioapps. I want to offer my sincerest apologies for not being able to be there in person today due to some unexpected circumstances, but thank you to the organizers for allowing me to present today via this recording. And I hope we can meet each other in person very soon. So, without further ado, let us begin today's talk. Today, I will be talking to everyone about your gateway to US remote jobs, strategies specifically for Cameroonian developers. Again, I want to wish everyone a happy AWS Community Day Cameroon, and thank Olioapps for being a sponsor of this event. Olioapps is a Portland, Oregon-based company in the United States and an AWS partner for select tier services. Later on in this conversation, I will be talking about opportunities that engineers here today will have access to in terms of technical writing and contract development work. And please feel free to follow up with me at any of my social handles. I'm head of customer acquisitions at Olioapps, gold sponsor of today's event, and I served as chief operations officer of Serverless Guru from 2018 to 2022, where I hired over 75 engineers to perform professional services for enterprise, small business, and startup clients. I am also a founder of A Better Cloud, an organization that connects engineers from around the globe with paid writing, speaking, and contract development opportunities. Today, I aim to share with you my perspective on how to best obtain remote positions in the United States. The structure of this talk is as follows. Number one, I want to provide some insights on global developer compensation. Two, I want us to discuss why you should consider working remotely for a US company. Three, I want to discuss with you the unfair advantages I think Cameroonians have over native US developers. And four, I want to share obstacles I see to remote positions and how to overcome them. Now, the idea for this talk started when I saw this graph earlier this year while scrolling LinkedIn. This data is from levels.fyi, an aggregator of software developer salary information. And this graph shows the average reported salaries of software engineers across 87 countries for the year of 2024. Now, this graph is a bit challenging to see, but on the next slide, I have several insights which I want to discuss. The first point I found interesting was that the lowest compensation band for US software engineers was $130,000 a year. Now, Cameroon was not mentioned in this report, which is unfortunate, but I did find some other points that I think will help illustrate my ideas. From this data, it shows that the lowest paid US software engineer was paid $65,000 more than the highest paid developer in South Africa, $80,000 more than the one in Ghana, $90,000 more than the one in Kenya, $95,000 more than the one in Nigeria. And if you were to compare the lowest pay band of the US to the lowest pay band in these respective countries, that spread is even wider. On average, it is a difference of $125,000. Combining these observations together led me to think of a thesis. One thing we can all agree on is that the quality of one's work is not determinate based off of one's geography, but on how well they have a mastery of the material. So since software deliverables are essentially the same, the market globally cannot justify long-term this spread of $65,000 to $100,000 USD for essentially the same work and the same output. That being the case, why aren't there more highly qualified Cameroonian engineers and developers throughout American companies? Based off of my experiences, this is due to a number of managerial obstacles, not technological obstacles. Thus, Cameroonians can compensate for this managerial deficiency in US companies by anticipating their needs and problems, potentially fixing them before they even happen. Thus, further, there is unprecedented opportunity in 2024 and beyond to pursue remote contract work with a US company. And if you haven't considered trying to work remotely for a US company before, I did put together a small set of reasons. The US is the native home to some of the world's largest cloud service providers, namely AWS, GCP, Microsoft. The overall strength of the US dollar. And for US companies, it's particularly easy to hire international contractors. And those processes are also not burdensome for those living in Cameroon. It's also of my opinion that Cameroonians have an unfair advantage when it comes to working remotely for a US company. When working remotely, it does not require a work visa. As evident by everyone here today, the participants in this industry are not constrained by old paradigms of development. Developers here embrace serverless, Gen AI, machine learning. Cost of living is nearly 4 times more in the United States. which easily would eat into the opportunity if instead you had to move to the United States to have access to the same job and position. Engineers here have access to the top tier cloud education, like the educational services provided by AWS or local agencies like EduCloud. Plus, Cameroon has an exceptionally strong AWS community presence, both at a local level that feeds into the larger global community, expanding your network and giving you the chance to be seen on the global stage. However, there are some challenges to accessing these opportunities, particularly awareness. How can Cameroonian developers get in front of US companies? Time zone. How does one overcome the 8 to 5 hour difference in time zone? Payments. How to get paid on time. Based on my experience as organizing and coordinating developer resources, these were 3 of the main challenges integrating them into our organization. But these are all solvable problems. First problem is awareness. And this, I would say, is one of the easiest to solve. The best way is to promote yourself by creating content, blogs, videos, community presentations, even being involved in regional and global community events like today's Community Day. These all create a pathway for companies to come to you. 2 is the issue of time zone. I can't change the hands on the clock, but we can set expectations. And generally, that is what employers are looking for. Number 1, we just have to come to an understanding that typically there is a preference for Pacific, Central, or Eastern US time zones when working with a US company. However, if you can get ahead of expectations early in the process, you'll be able to disqualify bad fits and bad opportunities before you go too far. Simple phrases that can do this are, what is the project management system used for development? How often are required meetings, stand-ups, and check-ins for this project? Asking questions like this will show leadership that you understand how you fit into something bigger, not just the project you're working on. And finally, an issue of payment. Sophisticated companies may already have a payment or remittance provider, but you may need to educate them on their options. Thankfully, it's much easier than organizations think in order to remit payment. Conventional banking through ACH or SWIFT networks, specialized payment processors like Wise, Zoom, or Payoneer. A particularly underutilized form are crypto-based payments such as wallet-to-wallet, Coinbase, and Gemini. And even partnerships with an umbrella company to handle payment are options. So there we are. Challenges overcome. These are all managerial problems and solvable problems that shouldn't stand in the way between you and a US remote job. But what if you have further questions or could use some hands-on assistance with your specific situation? That's why I'm launching A Better Cloud. A Better Cloud is a place where you can get paid to advance your career. We teach engineers valuable business skills like this and connect them with paid writing, speaking, and contract opportunities in our free Slack community. If you join today, you'll be the first in line to see the technical writing opportunities and development opportunities we already have lined up when A Better Cloud launches very soon. Thank you again very much. Again, I'm Joshua Proto, and it's been an honor to speak to you at AWS Community Day, Cameroon. Please feel free to follow up with me, Olioapps, on any of our socials. Please sign up to join A Better Cloud community, and I look forward to seeing you in person very soon.